Greetings and salutations, Dota fans. Welcome into the Game24 Invitational, powered by and brought to you by NVIDIA. I'm your host, Aaron A.C. Chambers. This is an all best-of-5, four-team single-elimination showdown, all for a $15,000 grand prize. All of the action being displayed to you over the next 24 hours or less. Right now, we got Evil Geniuses taking on Cloud9. EG has been on an absolute tear since the International, of course, finishing third there on the big stage in Seattle. They've won 16 of their last 20 matches across the world, and that doesn't just include online play, but obviously some success on LAN as well. Cloud9, in the meantime, suffering the loss of Sing Sing during the players' shuffle. They're still trying to really find their stride. They'll show you moments of brilliance. They'll go stretches of days at a time, whenever they seem like they have it all together, and then they'll end up splitting series against teams that most would consider inferior to them, and now taking on a hell of a strong team in Evil Geniuses. My co-caster for the day and for the tournament itself, Trouf. Trouf, my friend, great to be on the mic with you. Really looking forward to this match. Love all four teams that are involved in the tournament, but I think of the opening salvo of best of fives, this is the one I'm most excited for.
Yeah, definitely, and thanks for having me once again. It's great to be casting after I had a little bit of a break there, but yeah, some good teams to start this all off with EG and Cloud9, and just looking at the draft, just because I love the drafting portion of every game. There's always some interesting things that come out, and this is no surprise as well. With the first two bans coming out from EG are Earthshaker and Bat, and then Cloud9's bans are actually standard, but there's like just tier 1 powerhouse heroes available on both sides. So Death Prophet, Shadow Shaman for EG, Razor and Skywrath for Cloud9. So, like, these are all extremely powerful tier 1 picks, and each team gets them. So, going to be interesting to see how the rest of the draft unfolds.
Yeah, let's not lie. This looks like a pub draft right off the bat. If you join just about any pub game, you're very likely to see these four heroes spread out across two teams. Yeah, exactly. We need Tinker, maybe a little Nature's Prophet that's building 3 null talismans and a Blade Mail, and then we'll be on par. But EG obviously leading off with strong push, Death Prophet and Shadow Shaman. Really do love the Razor pick, and Razor, I think, well, it depends on who you ask, of course, but, you know, Razor's one of the heroes that almost unanimously everyone agrees needs to be tuned down at least a little bit. Skywrath Mage really has come into his own, but a lot of that has to do with his natural synergy with so many other heroes. I don't know that he's really due so much for a change in the next patch that everyone anticipates will be coming in the next few weeks, if not the next couple of months at the very least. But yeah, like you said, tier 1 talent in terms of the composition so far. Just a matter of how they want to lane it out, especially for Cloud9. I mean, with EG, you get the Death Prophet and the Shadow Shaman. You're pretty clear cut. You're going to be very, very good at a couple of things in the first 20 minutes. No reason not to put those to use.
Yeah, I think the thing with Skywrath, and what I'm trying to think about balance issues, is like his instant cast silence from decent range. It's instant. There's no cast animation. It's very, very easy to cast it on people, and it lasts, I think, 6 seconds. Yeah, it lasted 6 seconds at level 4, and the increased magic damage.
Right.
But it's mainly just the long duration instant cast silence, and then of course the concussive shot. These are the two abilities that really make him strong. It's like a 1400 range, 1600 range actually slow, and it's 40% at all levels. And then they also buffed his movement speed, so like he's very, very good in lane. He's very, very good at maneuvering around the map. So I don't know necessarily if he needs tweaking. As you mentioned, it's not so much him, just how he works with other heroes well, but he definitely is very, very strong. Centaur Warrunner picked up here for EG. A little interesting. I think that Centaur is extremely good. I think he's good personally against Razor, because every time Razor links someone, you can just pop the ulti from Centaur and run away, then the link is useless. Now that might seem kind of futile and like kind of worthless as far as using it just for the Razor link, but I feel like that's like why you pick Razor, is for the link, honestly. That's his best spell, and I've had some argue that that's the best spell, like one of the best spells in the game. It's so potent, so powerful at all levels.
I completely agree, and you know, it's just like everyone. You know, everyone plays some Dota and starts theory crafting with their buddies when they're winding down and stuff. And you know, if there's anything that, I mean, you could talk a lot about Razor and how he works, from the ability to refresh and how strong his ulti is with a refresher and an Ags and that kind of thing. But honestly, the mana cost of static link in lane, even against heroes that normally shut down heroes that are very ability dependent in a one-on-one, the OD being the prime example, even he is really just kind of mauled by a well-played Razor. And, the static link, the fact that it can drain more damage than a hero actually has can be problematic in terms of just being able to steamroll over someone if you happen to just latch onto a support and then opt not to kill them right off the bat. You can soak so much damage. But anyway, EG sticking with the game plan, not going to deviate too much. Nature's Prophet picked up. That's a lot of push. Towers not likely to stay standing unless C9 can get control of the map early and keep EG on the back foot.
Now, that's an interesting concept. What if it only allowed you to suck out damage that they had? Like, if they hit for 108, you could only take 108. Well, I don't know. Excuse me. It's an interesting idea, and we have to see if that's what they play with. But anyway, the reason why I was saying that the Centaur pick is a little bit curious is I don't think it's particularly good on Dire. Like, it's amazing on Radiant. But now with this Nature's Prophet pickup, it makes me wonder if they're going to run Centaur somewhere else. Like, if I don't know. I've seen EG do a lot of different things lately in the past couple of weeks, whether it's in matches, in WC, or in NEL or whatever. But they could do a farming Nature's Prophet. They could do Universe Prophet bottom with like a dual lane, something like Abaddon or something like that.
Right.
See, I've seen them do that a lot more again on Radiant, so it's just interesting to see them pick this up on Dire.
I'm kind of curious to see how Cloud9's going to choose to lane this out. I mean, you see a Clockwork, you assume that's just going to be an off-lane clock. I mean, clock can be run mid, it can be run anywhere you want. I mean, support Clockwork still even makes an appearance from time to time. But, EG, if there's one word other than push that comes to mind, it's greed. This is such a greedy lineup with the Shadow Shaman, the Nature's Prophet. Death Prophet, as good as she is at controlling lane, spamming out waves and so on, she is very gankable early on if you're able to get some aggression onto her. She also really needs levels and farm to a certain extent. And then you have Shadow Shaman, as good as the hero is, early levels, he's very susceptible to pressure. And then, of course, the Prophet. Is this a game you think where C9, even with the lineup they have, which would seem to be fairly clear-cut, you have a Clockwork, then building a tri-lane around the Skywrath and the Gyro, Razor go mid, something like that. Do you think maybe they switch that up a little and try to get aggressive, or do they even have that potential?
I wouldn't go aggressive against the Skywrath and potentially, these are very good heroes.
I'm talking Cloud9 against EG.
Oh, Cloud9 go to aggressive against EG? Oh, yeah, sure, they could. Yeah, they definitely could. The only thing is that Clockwork is so good off-lane Radiant that maybe you don't need to. It really depends on what they want to accomplish. Like, if they really want to shut... And also, they can have it in the back of their minds, like, depending on what this last pick of EG is. It could be anything, honestly. Is THD banned? Yeah, they actually banned out THD themselves, but... Yeah, the one thing, though, that EG does that they always do, especially when they're on Dire, is they always pick a lineup that is suited around Roshan. I've talked about this before, but I really think that EG is the best team in doing so. Look at this: Death Prophet, Shadow Shaman, Nature's Prophet. These heroes all have easy access to Roshan and kill it very, very quickly. So no matter what, if they're having a bad early game, they can always just go do Roshan. That was at the last second, by the way, as they pick up a Dazzle.
Yep. Adds into the Roshan as well. And yeah, I mean, this is going to be so much running down lane at Cloud9 happening so early. I mean, you're going to have a couple of waves of Treants, couple of waves of creeps. You're going to have to deal with Weave armor now on everyone as they try to get behind the tower. Death Prophet as well, depending on how she builds, but Witchcraft makes her hard to track down, even for heroes like a Clockwork, like a Skywrath, who does have his slow, as you had mentioned. But now she's going to be weaved up, which means she's going to be much harder to bring down with pure physical DPS. You have the great way to run away that you had pointed out in the Centaur War Runner. EG's lineup, you look at it, it seems kind of cheesy. It's kind of one-dimensional. It's very greedy, but it's going to be very, very good at what they want to accomplish. And as you said, as well as going into the Roche pit, and anytime they take a win, making it 2 times a win.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be just my guess, a safe lane tri-lane with farming Centaur, Fear playing the Centaur, Death Prophet mid, and then just Universe playing the off-lane Prophet. The only thing about this is if they pressure the Death Prophet a lot and Fearon isn't able to get too much, I feel like they're going to get really out-farmed. Of course, they do have, again, the Dire, which means easy access to Roshan. So we'll have to wait and see what the lanes are going to be because, again, Clockwork on Radiant is very hard to zone out. And there's an Enigma, so that makes you... Wow. It's actually kind of a cool pick because it makes you want to go aggressive or at least do some kind of dual lane in the off lane if you're Evil Geniuses because... Well, at the very, very least, wardless camps, because you do not want a free-farming Enigma. I really like Cloud9's lineup, actually. I'm not 100% sold on the Gyrocopter, but if you go with certain build, I've talked about this before, I really like Silence build, where you just go Phase Boots, Drums, Aquila, BKB and you go fight. Like, you just go fight and go fight. Don't
Right.
farm. You can go the stacking ancients route, but it's not my cup of tea. I think just going in there and fighting is the best way to do it.
Yeah, I like the Enigma pick as well. I said wow when it came out, but you know, when I see that, basically they're giving and they're taking. Like EG again, very greedy lineup, trying to farm the Centaur, as you said. Death Prophet really needs a lot of attention early to make sure that she gets on par with where she wants to be. Nature's Prophet obviously takes a little time to come online, and so on. But you know, going with the Enigma, that's basically Cloud9 going, you know what? We're not even going to worry about trying to punish you for greedy picks. Instead, we're just going to go with as greedy a jungler as there is left in the pool, and we're going to dare you to stop us. And if you don't, that's fine. We're just going to have a free farming Enigma. We'll have a quick mech if that's the direction he wants to go. And we're going to be able to meet you with the power of a Razor early on, who should, whenever you look at two targets in particular, the Death Prophet and the Centaur, he should be able to really, you know, take a lot of damage from both of those heroes because they usually take a while to drop unless they're just really out of position. And then they're going to be able to outright click a team, which otherwise, with good control and with great ability utility, they're still lacking in damage until the Death Prophet, physical damage, I should say, until the Death Prophet is able to buy them time, the Nature's Prophet able to get his items up, and so on. So, yeah, it's a fun pick from C9. I want to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I mean, C9 definitely has good team fight, and I will say I really like the Enigma pick too because there's nothing on EG's side that can deal with the black hole or BKB black hole. Nothing. If Owie's item progression is just I'm gonna farm a blink and then I'm gonna farm a BKB, he is golden. There's nothing that can stop him. So if he does get that space, then it's a humongous threat in team fight. So EG. If that does happen and it starts to become a stalemate, obviously C9 is going to like that because they're always going to farm.
Very quickly, who do you like as a level 1 team fight? It looks like we might have one.
Well, Enigma's garbage in level 1 team
exactly.
fight, so I will say EG, but we'll see. It comes down to positioning.
Up, Pylai runs up. They see it. It's a whole team. He's going to go ahead and give him a little damage on the way out. Universe takes that one right in the back, and now they're going to chase them out. But yeah, Enigma.
Then again, Furion's not very good either. And also, actually, Razor's really good. Gyro's like one of the best. And with the high move speed of Skywrath, it really comes down to positioning, and then C9 just got there faster. So I really like that. I see so many teams that just not necessarily defend their pole camps or defend their little area where they warded, but they got down there fast enough to see what happened. As some counter wards come out right away from Pylai, he's going to counter this out. So very, very good start here for Cloud9.
C9 moving out as the horn blows, and Pylai looks to remove some vision. How about we take a look at the lineup, see who's handling who. Beginning with Cloud9, it'll be Eternal Envy's on the Razor. He's actually setting up shop here in bottom lane for the minute. In mid, that's going to free up the Gyrocopter for Phaeton. Now blocking the creeps down that middle lane, so that's going to be a fun matchup to watch. Going to be Pylai, as we saw already did. Counter ward on the Skywrath Mage. The Enigma going to be played by AUI, just now making his way out of the fountain. And Clockwork going to be handled by Bone7 on the other side of the river. EG is going to have PPD and Universe in bottom lane, at least to start. PPD on the Dazzle, Universe on the Nature's Prophet as expected. Centaur will be farmed by Fear, as you had predicted, my friend. Shadow Shaman, that's going to be Zai. He's found himself an Invis rune, and he's moving down the bottom. This could get lethal very quickly. Then, of course, Arteezy in mid. We'll come back to him in a bit, though, as it looks like this bottom lane could have some activity very quickly. That plasma field zoning them out a bit. Pylai eats his way through. Here comes Zai. Zai is yet to place the point. The Invis is worn off. Now he's going to be seen. He's got shackles, and they're going to go ahead and grab Pylai. PPD up front, uses the heal right on top of him, and first blood drawn by Universe, as is their trademark. EG getting ahead early with fantastic support play and rotations.
Yeah, good rotation. At the same time, his Invis rune actually wore off before he got the shackles.
Right here.
And he didn't show up. He didn't show top at all. So I feel like they needed to play just a bit safer. Like, you're going up against a dual lane like this. You're thinking, where's the other support here? And he just ran up and shackled him. So very nice movement there early on from Zai, getting a nice surgence of gold for his team. And who got the first blood? It was actually Universe. That's a really good hero to get it on.
Yep, they're going to leave Zai down here, although PPD has headed back to top and is now making it a duo lane. Bone7 is doing quite fine, as you would imagine, in the face of a Centaur, at least for the moment. And PPD, as good as Dazzle is, he's going to be able to do a little bit to zone Bone7 out, but he should have a pretty nice time on this Clockwork, at least in terms of levels. We'll see what he can do for farm. 2-minute rune will be spawning momentarily. Zai's right there, trading damage with Pylai. And that little Rasta just taking it right on the chin and snags himself a regen rune in the meantime. How about Allison versus Fata, obviously, Allison Ortiz. What do you think of this matchup, Gyro versus DP?
Well, DP really doesn't care who she faces because she's just going to do the same thing every single time, which is hit the range creep once, twice, hit the other creep that's in the front like once to get it to where you can nuke him and get both of them at the same time and just spam, 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 spam. And so Allison, or DP in this case, is going to get lots of farm. Gyro, depending on what's his build going to be, he's maxing missile actually in the mid lane, so this is a gank-oriented build. Clockwork comes in for a random power call. Actually, he hasn't even leveled up Rocket Flare. Interesting build right there from Bone 7. But I do favor just a little bit the DP in this matchup, just because it's so easy to play mid against a hero that doesn't really have too much killing potential.
Yeah, it looks like Bone 7 going to stack the Ancients on his way back to lane. He's missing out on a fair amount of XP. In the meantime, we can see a little bit of action down here in bottom. But
Arteezy might die.
Oh, Arteezy caught up.
That was close.
Very close. You got there. What did he hit him with a missile?
He hit him with a missile, and Arteezy just like stood there. He like ran forward and started CSing. And took a lot of unnecessary damage, but he does have a bottle coming out, I think, right now. Yeah, so he'll be fine. That should be upgraded because supports got upgraded right away.
AUI under cover of smoke moving towards mid. He is level 4 for the moment. Got to run right into Zai. That's going to pop his smoke, and he loses a clarity as well. There's going to be another missile thrown at Arteezy. Zai standing there going blow for blow. TP coming in, and we see Arteezy hit with the... Oh, hang on. Behind that, we actually had the Nature's Prophet start to come in. I thought he TP'd onto the high ground. Instead, they're going to chase out Fata. Now Universe lands. And Fata in some trouble, gets shackled, even though he does get the Rocket Barrage up, but the damage just too high. And Fata ends up dropping at the lip of his own side of the river 2-0. Universe was just trying to reposition so many times. I thought he was going to come in right about here to try to cut off the retreat path, but he ended up finally just coming in point blank and helping to secure that second kill.
Yeah, he wanted to come in where he knew that someone was going to commit into a certain direction. And he didn't want his movement to be wasted and his time to be wasted. So well played there. Zaya being able to set it up with the shackles. So very easy kill. One of the reasons why I think Furion's top 3 heroes in the game is his global movement and just being able to pressure all lanes at any given time right from the get-go. And not to mention his carry potential in the late game is just so strong. So I really like the Furion pickup. We'll have to see how the rest of this game pans out, but a very nice early start from EG. Centaur is basically free farming, has almost every single last hit with 26. DP 24 for her, and the Gyro only at 15 now as a result of that gank. Nope, did I lose ya?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Might have lost you there for a sec. Allison, Arteezy getting hit by a missile right here. Valti, he has a secondary missile that he's going to charge up. Bone 7. He's coming in with high movement speed. But Arteezy should be fine for the moment. It sounds like you're back now.
Yeah. Hopefully. It's odd issues. But at any rate, Bone 7 now going to be caught inside of his own cogs and a Sprout. That's going to be 3-0 EG as they continue to pile it on. And really, they're just looking great. They're just outmaneuvering them. And so far, the Gyro pick isn't really working out all that well. Like you said, he's not farming particularly well. His damage output is not going to be what they want it to be. And here's a TP to top from Bone 7. Going to try to chase back Fear and PPD. Looks like they will make it back to safety, though.
Yeah, sorry, but I actually thought that was immediate. Oh, I hear Centaur ulti, and Fear just gets stopped by the clock. Okay. I don't know if he was using it for himself.
He was using it to save Zai. Look at Zai running back to base.
Oh, okay, good.
Yep.
Good communication right there. And that's specifically what I was talking about. I didn't see it, so I can't exactly comment on it fully, but the Stampede is quite good against Razor in general. Just being able to get away from the static link and just... Also, you get purged and then you get slowed up. You can use the Centaur ulti to unpurge yourself, so to speak, and then run away faster, so... It's very effective. Yeah, sorry, but I was going to cover, but I actually thought that my Skype was screwing up. I was like, oh, no.
Nah. It was another weird little bug between us, but so long as I'm back, Bone 7 in some trouble. Once again, Universe coming in, hits him with a Sprout. Couple more auto attacks will get him. Fear trying to catch up. Fear at 360 movement speed, 365 for Bone 7, who's going to run up and deny himself on the creep. So heads up play there. In the meantime, at bottom, C9. going to work on this tier 1 bottom using the push power of that Enigma. Zai, very low health, is probably going to have to just waddle his way back to base. He's actually going to be dead here as the magic missile in the plasma field track him down behind the tier 2. And that's something we haven't really talked a lot about in depth, is just how much range C9 has in terms of their damage output. Between what we just saw, then you factor in things like flak cannon. If the gyro can get on par, they're going to be able to just blow them up from distance.
Yeah, the missile is definitely annoying. I haven't seen it enough to really have a true opinion about whether I like this in mid or not. Like, part of me just thinks what you could just do as much damage almost with just flak cannon, at the same time have the ability to flash farm stacks. But I don't know, I could be wrong. He might have just had a bad start because of that unfortunate gank and mishap. It happened from Owie coming in and smoking. The smoke was revealed right away, and it's kind of screwed up their plans. But they do get the kill bottom on Zai. Owie's farming very, very well on Enigma, and I really feel like this is the absolute key hero for Cloud9. And like I said, if this hero gets a BKB, his black hole is unobstructed. Nothing can be done about it. So, very effective. I mean, I guess the Ghost can still go through if he's low HP and kill him, but, you know, that's a big if.
Well, speaking of the Ghost, taking a look at Arteezy, farm at 41, right on par with the top. And the Furion at 33 as well. And they do get a little bit of extra gold, bringing down the missile that time from Feta. But yeah, I mean, he's in pretty good shape. At what point now, especially with Fear finishing his Blink Dagger at 8.5 minutes in, at what point do you think they're just going to start to shove towers?
Well, when Zai gets 6, but he's very low leveled. He's not even level 4 yet, just about to hit it. Actually, they're going on to Bone 7. Nice hook right there, actually.
Yep.
Saves himself. TP response Vato using the missile.
And Fear and Universe trying to make it away. They will go ahead and use Stampede, and wisely so, as they're able to outrun the call down.
Zai? Oh, Zai 3-2-2, no. Oh, he does get the kill!
Oh, wow.
So it ends up being worth it, I think.
So worth it. Oh, yeah, trading a Shadow Shaman for a clock, take that any day. And in the meantime, look at mid. Arteezy and PPD going to work and answering my question for me. Pushing tier 1 down to half health now.
I don't know if they're going to be able to get this tower fully, but did get some damage onto it. And yeah, it's going to be good for them. Razor, what's he going to build into? He's got Treads. I'm bringing a Basilisk. Mech is probably going to come up from the Enigma, as he almost has it, yeah. So no need to get a mech for the Razor. Probably drums into BKB, something of that route. To be quite honest, actually, BKB is not even that good this game. It's okay, but it's not that good. Probably just drums into the Aghanims is my guess.
Looks like Universe is going to be going for straight Orchid. And has made decent progress towards it as well. He's already got up 2 Mantles of Intelligence, Sage's Mask, and of course the Staff. But for now, it's really EG who's kind of pouring it on. We can see some stacks. I hear it. Oh, no, he actually just threw that to farm out the creeps in mid. Thought he was throwing it at a stack in the jungle. But EG beginning to collapse in mass now. There's going to be a DD. It's going to be picked up in the bottom rune spot. Envy moving his way over. PPD and Fear have eyes on him. Fear might blink here. Oh, wound up for the stomp. Thought better of it, and he'll go ahead and withdraw.
And Cloud9 doesn't have very much vision, honestly, right now. They have this one lowly ward, which is about to expire. Yep, they actually have no wards on the map, so they need to get some vision. They think that they're roshing. They throw out a rocket to scout it out, but no, they're not going to see it. Okay, they just put a ward down right now. So they do actually have at least vision of the rune. But that was an unfortunate wasted time there from EG. Centaur TP'd bottom, or TP'd back to base. They walked all the way from the base to the jungle there, smoked up, and didn't get anything out of it. So not able to really use his Blink Dagger to full effect, even though he got it like 3 minutes ago.
Well, we'll see what they want to do once Arteezy gets a little bit more farm. I think that's kind of what they're waiting on. That and a couple of other key points. Shadow Shaman's almost level 6. Obviously, having the wards will make it a lot easier.
Looking to kill Arteezy with a hook.
Yep. Bone 7 set up. Over to the side, and the silence. Very nice kill, and one they really needed quite a bit. In mid, we can see the rest of C9 will go ahead and withdraw away from the tier 1 as well. That's sitting in half health, and yeah, I mean, C9 has slowly chipped their way back into this. Now, though, is when the split push is going to come in. Universe, again, making good progression, has 1 Oblivion Staff up already. And now Zai, yep, just going to go ahead and drop the wards. Just hit 6 not long ago, and this tower, without a glyph, is certainly going to die before anyone can get there. Envy not even going to have a chance to go for the deny.
Yeah, their pushing power is so strong as well. That was full HP tower. They were rotating from mid to bottom. Couldn't even make it in time. And this is at, minute 11.
Bone 7 in trouble and blown up. A lot of burst damage between those two heroes. Here comes PPD trying to track down Pile I Die, unable to get into range for anything. But RTC does have his ulti at the ready if they want to go ahead and use it. But yeah, something else we haven't talked about is the ability for these two heroes in particular to just blow heroes up with Crypt Swarm and Double Edge. That's a lot of damage to deal with at this stage of the game.
Yep, and there's the ultimate, plus the double damage turn up onto RTC, pushing one tower. They might be able to pressure the second one just a little bit, but as soon as the Exorcism wears off, they probably want to be a little bit more careful, depending on what Cloud9 does. And it looks like Cloud9 is going for a push in mid themselves. So this is going to be a lot of damage on this this tier 2 up top, actually. They might even get it. Pretty close.
Tier 1 nearly denied by Zai, but the Enigma on top of that. Yeah, they're trading a tier 1 for a tier 2. No, mass TP's in now, and EG's on the run. Bone 7 missed on his hook, and Arteezy doing what damage he can as they run away. But as you said, yeah, they're going to have to deny this. They almost dies to a Treant, one lone Treant. And they're going to end up losing the tier 2, so not as much gold as EG would have liked. But in mid, the push is on as well. Zai will have his wards back up in 15 seconds. Doubt he'll want to use it on such a low tower, but right now they're maneuvering very, very well. And Bone 7, unfortunately for him, missed that hook under that tier 2. Otherwise, they might have been able to tally a kill or two.
Yep, absolutely. They're making Cloud9 just run all over the place, and as a result, they're probably going to be losing some farm. Like, I'm looking at Gyro's farm right now. I'm just thinking, what's he going to do with these items? Like, he uses, I see some actions. Bone 7 gets taken out with a high movement speed with the drums used from Arteezy. Taking some damage from the Mystic Flare, but he should be fine with PPD behind him as well. So very nice kill yet again from Arteezy. Clockwork is 0, 5, and 2. Not a good game for him.
No, he had potential here and there, and we saw them pick off Arteezy at top, which was nice, but like you said, he's died way too many times. He just has been way out of position a couple of times, and a few missed opportunities, if we're honest. I mean, we saw him, even early, roam to mid and throw the casual cogs down at Arteezy, and then,
so weird.
And he was kind of spending a lot of time away from lane, even though the creep wave was very close to his tower, so he missed out on levels, and now he's just behind in general.
Yeah, and it's not like he had the worst lane in the world. It started out as a tri-lane bottom, so he was basically 1v1 for a little while as there's some Rasta wards into Roshan. It should be a very, very easy Roshan for them. They don't even need to use the DP ult for this, so it's fantastic for them. But, yeah, it didn't even have the worst lane in the world. He started out 1v1, and then PPD came up there as a 2v1, and this is Radiant Clockwork. Like, he thrives in 1v2, 1v1 situations up there, so.
Might have a hook. Bone up. No, they get it in time. Now they want to try to fight it. Eternal Envy comes in. There's a Stampede. There's the hook. That manages to catch Arteezy. Arteezy without the Aegis. They're going to be able to blow him up with the Mystic Flare behind that. Here comes Fear looking for targets. Rushes past the rest of the team, basically just soaking damage as he was the Aegis carrier. And he's going to be busted with a call down as soon as he responds, as well as a black hole. And Shallow Grave, a little wishful thinking. PPD just got himself killed trying to be cute.
That was a mistake.
Yeah.
Huge mistake.
I'm not sure. Yeah, that was kind of odd on all fronts. What was Fear trying to do? Was that just poor communication? Because it looked like he wanted to fight. Nobody else was interested.
Well, I mean, I don't think they expected Arteezy to get bursted down that fast. But the Blade Mail hurt him a ton. Very nice timely pickup there from Bone 7. And then he popped the ulti too, and obviously you don't really want to give your Death Prophet the Aegis, because if you die when you use the ulti, it doesn't come back. It's not like Razor's ulti. So he didn't have the Aegis, he got bursted down with the Mystic Flare, plus killing himself through the Blade Mail. And yeah, I don't think they were expecting that, to be honest. I don't think they were expecting Arteezy to die that fast. They wanted to go in the back lines, try to create some space and help him out that way. But yeah, and then PPD trying to Grave, that was just a very wonky decision. And I don't know about that one.
Very early glyph here in mid. That's actually not correct to say. They popped it as soon as they did just because it's so low. Oh, another missed hook by Bone 7. And now they're going to engage off that. No black hole. Keep in mind they used that to kill Fear last time. Fear actually does make it out. Mystic Flare catches nothing. Fear will be tracked down by Phaeton, but the wards go down. So C9 having a hard time trying to respond. We see Phaeton caught and hexed out. And they're going to be able to chase him perhaps. And auto attacks. One more will do it. And yep, Crypt Swarm. Now a very nice sprout from Universe as Pile Die joins the crew of the dead. 7 to 11, and they're pushing hard. 5 seconds until Arteezy has his ulti. This tower should die very quickly, and they might even take some damage out of it. Yep, I was going to say, are they going to use it now and go for tier 3 as well, or are they just going to secure this? We'll find out as the tier 2 is a shambles. And yeah, they're going to back.
Okay, that's a save. I mean, they don't have wards. If they had wards, they'd definitely pressure that because the Clockwork hook is down, Black Hole is down. Cloud9 is just getting way too excited once they get a kill. They're like, oh, we got a kill. The fight must be going well for us. And they kind of overextend just a little bit. They could have been happy taking the freebie. I was going to say, very early Force Staff, by the way, on Zai. I was thinking, who the hell took the, or forced the Centaur out of the cogs? Who could possibly have that? I looked at maybe, did Arteezy have it? Nope. It's Zai. So he went for the Force Staff before Blink, and actually almost has a Blink himself. So Zai has some fantastic farm this game. I mean, obviously it's kind of understood because they have 1, 2, 3, 4 towers plus Roshan. So, but yeah, the Force Staff, good pickup against Clock.
EG in command of the map, and only going to get worse as Universe completed the Orchid, has his Blink, and is now beginning to go to work on his mid-game items. Even though, I mean, the Orchid just came out so quickly for him, skipping Midas and or anything like that, and instead just going for a pure fighting build. And that's the right call. I mean, they just have so much punching power at this level, as we talked about during the draft. If you're C9, how do you react right now? What's the game plan to try to get this game back within your wheelhouse?
Get an item on Gyro. Like, it's 18 minutes and he has nothing.
Any item.
Anything. I don't, yeah. But the thing is, Gyro is such a hero that's... I don't really think he's honestly item dependent other than BKB. Like, that's kind of the item that you have to get on Gyro. But I really don't even know that BKB, like I said earlier, is that great. Like, it stops Rasta, which is great. Rasta can't cast really any spells on you. But the thing is, the wards are already physical damage anyway, so he doesn't really care about that. And it stops the Stomp from Centaur. Whoop-de-doo. Like, those are the spells that it stops. But... So if you don't need BKB, like, what do you get on Gyro? I don't even know. I like I said in the beginning, I like the phase drums fighting build, just getting that quickly and then just go running around and fighting people. But it's kind of a different way to play Gyro this game because he went mid, and you don't often see that.
Coming back to the Enigma for a moment, you were talking about the importance of Blink BKB. He actually went Blink Mech. Taking that pressure off of his team himself. Razor, in the meantime, has completed his Scepter, so his farm not abysmal by any stretch of the imagination. It's sitting in 3rd position.
Oh, it's very good, actually. It's a really good timing with the drums and treads.
Well, right now, EG just seems to be interested in farming up a couple of more items. We saw Arteezy, for the last set of engagements, did complete the Yule Staff, so very nice item for him. Zai really, though, has the playmaking potential now with 2 mobility items. Fear with a Blink and a Force Staff on him as well. He's also picked up his Cloak, so he's going to be a little bit more tanky and not take quite as much damage from Double Edge. But, yeah, I mean, the Gyro, like you said, he's just so far behind. He's got 1,400 gold plus a Mithril Hammer, unless he's got something on the courier that I'm missing, and nope, not a damn thing.
Yeah, so, and there's also so much pressure this game that Aoi has not have the best time farming. Like I said, if he just farmed into... If he gets like a BKB now, you can really... rectify some problems, like just really solve a lot of the problems that Cloud9 would be having, because he's going to be such a focal point in these fights if he is that much of a threat. But because his farm is low, he's not as much of a threat, to be honest.
Arteezy finds himself an Invis, and he's going to use it immediately. Looks like they want to take a run at top. 2 heroes, that's Bone 7 and Phaetop, isolated out there. We're going to see 1 TP. Nope, no thank you. Zai catches him, hexes him out, and ward traps him. He's going to end up dead to a Crypt Swarm, and behind that, here comes EG with Universe. Bone 7 in a lot of trouble. He's going to die immediately, and this is where that Prophet really hits her stride. That movement speed through the roof with the phase, the Yules, and they're going to rush straight for Tier 3.
Oh.
Down at bottom, Envy could be in trouble.
They're going to try to cancel his TP. If they can cancel their TPs, they'll be fine. They're actually going on PPD right now. He uses a Grave for himself. Oh, they're not going to cancel the TPs, unfortunately. But...
And Zai going to go ahead and pull back now. He used his wards to ward trap Bone 7, so didn't have it for the tower, but decent amount of damage done. More than half HP gone from that Tier 3 top.
Yeah, so much damage coming out. And Arteezy hasn't even built or bought his new item. He's got 4,400 gold saved up. Could be anything. Probably a heart. If it wasn't a heart, I would imagine he'd buy the Reaver there. Would just he passes by. Nope, it's a BKB. So it's a really smart pickup against the Clock and the Mystic Flare from Skywrath.
Yep.
Because those things are blowing him up. The Clock, Blade Mail plus the Skywrath. So smart pickup right there.
No, I agree. That's really been the only thing that's shut him down so far is whenever he just gets caught, locked down, even for a minute, and then we see him focus fired by the Skywrath Mage almost entirely. Zai checking out Roshan. We'll find out when the big boy's going to be back up here shortly. Phaetop is making progress. Mithril Hammer again already picked up, so he's got enough for his Ogre Club right now, but hanging on to finish the whole thing here in about 5,000 gold, give or take. Bone 7 in the meantime is yet to hit level 11. He's gone 3 Bracer, Brown Boot, Blade Mail. That tells you the kind of game it's been for him.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever you see mass bracers, you know how they're doing in that game. It's this cheap, cost-effective item that gives you lots of HP. But I'm still like mulling over, thinking about what they were trying to do with this gyro mid. Like, and just because he went for the max rockets, like, what was he trying to do? Just like rocket them and then they run in for the gank? Like, the thing is, it's very obvious because it comes so slowly at first, and you just run back to your tower and then you're fine. I don't know, maybe I just don't understand it right now. I need to maybe ask and find out as we have a pause here for some minor lag. But yeah, I don't know. I'm out of words for that.
Yeah, I think it's as simple as they just wanted to gank. They didn't want to let Arteezy live, and they wanted to. I mean, they had the Enigma who could come in at any point to try and help out once they got a few points into Malphus. They obviously had a Skywrath mage who was going to be able to come in and, you know, trying to kill off a Death Prophet much easier before level 6 for obvious reasons. But yeah, they just didn't make it work. And in the time that was taken away, in particular by Bone7 from his lane, missing out on not so much CS, but again, just levels. 4 bracers, by the way, on him now. So he's got 1 for each arm and 1 for each ankle. He's just really struggled. And, you know, and in fairness, he has missed some opportunities as well. There have been a couple of hooks he could have hit that would have made a big difference and just haven't. So either way, EG under cover of smoke, moving now through the Radiant side jungle. No targets nearby, save for Fata, who's already back behind the tier 2. They're going to go ahead and dip back down towards the river.
Yep. It's really going to come down to Aoi. It really is. He's actually not too far away from his BKB. So I would say if you're Cloud9, I know it sucks because the EG have Dire, and it's actually Respawn's actually respawning in 30 seconds, so they're going to get another Roshan. But I think they need to play it passively until the BKB comes up on Aoi. I really do. I don't think that they can take a fight head-on against EG just with the amount of farm that this Death Prophet has.
The problem I have, though, is it's not just him. It's Universe as well. Look at Universe's inventory. We've talked very little about him, but he's already got a Maelstrom done as well as an Orchid, and he's got 1,000 gold aside from that. His farm and his ability to split push is going to accelerate through the roof. And C9 has a team that, based on their ultimates, just because you have a Clockwork, in particular, you have the Enigma, whose ulti you really need to find around as much as you can. They need to 5-man if they can. And the problem is, if they try to 5-man, EG has so many ways to stall them between Rasta wards, between Death Prophet ulti, etc., etc., etc. If they stall, Universe is just going to take what little buildings they have left, and that basically comes down to a tier 2 bottom, which is now being warded by Zai and Fear, and it's going to be down to at least half health. They do have a glyph if they want to try to do anything about this. Doesn't look like that's the interest for the moment. They're going to try to catch the heroes as they retreat. Bone7 moving down, has hook at the ready. Let's see if he can spot someone. Yep, Zai's in trouble. There's a hook that connects, and cogs go down. He 4-staffs out and trying to make his way away, but there's a nice kill for them. In the meantime, though, Roshan taken by Universe and Arteezy and PPD. So the tower actually ends up denied. A little less gold than they would have liked. But think what they lost there. They got 1 Shadow Shaman, lost the tier 2 and a Roshan.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. The thing is, I don't think they could contest Roche either way. So any kind of trade at all is actually not too bad for Cloud9. Because Roshan, it just dies too fast to the Death Prophet. Way too fast. And now that he's level 16 too, those ghosts do a lot of damage. They're healing up right now. Has another 3,600 gold as he just bought his BKB, it seems like. But yeah, the Death Prophet's just going to be insane. And the thing I fear now for Cloud9 is even if they do get a BKB up on Aoi, they can't cancel the ult. First of all, he has to catch everybody in his ult, or at least 4 people. Second, after that, they're picking on Arteezy. Can't he get caught? They got to kill him twice here. Centaur ulti is on cooldown from their 17.
Yep, there's the BKB, and I heard a missed hook behind that.
Yep, he hit Fata.
So Bone7 continues to struggle a little bit, and Arteezy makes it away, costing him nothing but a BKB charge, and continuing to try to outrun this rocket. Donk. Eats a bit of damage.
Yeah, but the thing I fear is that first he has to get 4 heroes in his hole, at least, and then they have to burst them all down, because if they don't, they're gonna get healed up by Dazzle. The pipe is gonna get popped. Mech is Mech up with somebody? I don't know if it is. No, it's not. But they're just, the point is they're also tanky, and they all have healing potential.
Yep, and they also have PPD who can grave someone if needed. They're gonna tank up like crazy off of Weave.
Yep.
Yeah, it's bad times for C9, but they're a team that knows how to play from this position. I can't tell you how many games over the last 12 months or so I've seen these players pull out of nowhere just because they're smart players and know how to adjust. So I will never sleep on C9. They're one of the best at playing from that position, but they do have quite an uphill battle to go. 3,400 gold for Universe, by the way. So we'll see what his next big item is going to be.
Let's see, what's he got so far? I mean, the safe bet is just run the Mjolnir and then throw it on the Death Prophet or the Centaur. As another missed hook, I heard it. Didn't connect with Zai. As Zai gets out scot-free yet again. Yeah, just not a good game here for Bone7. Unfortunately for him. But, yeah, maybe first game of the day. Although it is much later there in Europe.
I know, talking to EG's manager, Charlie. By the way, I want to check something real quick. Aw.
Sure.
No, never mind. I was going to check the courier. There's someone in the office here. I can't remember, like, we all had the idea almost simultaneously whenever the player cards, you know, at TI4 with each of the players' signatures. But one person actually did it, and I was hoping others did as well. For those who don't know, Charlie Yang is EG's manager, and one of our graphics guys in the office. He's actually sitting not too far from me right now playing Dota. He has an EG throw courier, and he placed all the player signatures on it, and then he used a name tag to name the courier Charlie, and it's the funniest thing in the world.
Nice. You know what I just noticed? Enigma had like level 1 in his Malefice for the longest time, and he maxed the
Midnight Pulse.
Midnight Pulse. I don't agree with that at all, but it's very interesting that he did that.
I think they were anticipating more opportunities to fight, and really that's something that we need to herald for EG, is the fact that they have mostly dodged 5-on-5 fights, which is where C9 would find their forte. Like, for the most part, they've picked off, they split push, they've taken map control, but we haven't really seen, outside of that Roche fight, and even that was a little wonky, on the side of EG at least, we haven't really seen them just caught in a position where it's like, okay, 5-on-5, go, go, go.
Yeah. Here we go. Wards could go down. Yep. Allison, a.k.a. Arteezy, pops the ult, and, well, we'll see how this rest of this fight unfolds.
And for now, that tower dropping very quickly. There's the weave. And here we go. Phaeton engaged upon hook. Yep, they actually did connect that time. They got Arteezy, and Bone7's going to be blown up. The BKB saving a lot of damage. Phaeton very close to dead. Zai goes in and finishes him off with an Ether Shock. And that's going to be 2 down. Gyro's down for 60 seconds. Don't know. Yeah, he does have buyback, so he's back in. AUI trying to come in. BKB Black Hole. The damage is, yeah, they can't do anything to him. They end up just losing the Aegis, though, as Universe survives. And no, never mind. Check that. Fates off the buyback with the help of Envy. Able to clean up the back of that fight. And Arteezy, that's a little greedy, is going to clean up and TP out right away from the front of the base as the rest of the team for C9 chased EG out the front gate. So 18-10, it cost them a buyback on the gyro, but both racks are still standing. Unfortunately, that's going to put that gyrocopter, who's already far behind, even further behind.
I just don't think this gyro was played correctly. Like, I don't know. I don't really think this max missile did anything for them in the mid lane. I think he could have either gone for the standard just farming stacks build with flat cannon, or just, like I said, the silent build. I really like the silent build of Phase, Drums, Aquila, and just run at people and run at them. Again, also there was a lot of other problems, not his fault. Like we mentioned, Bone7 has not had a good game this game. As you mentioned with the BKB up on Arteezy, as soon as he goes at him now and pops the Blade Mill, if BKB is popped, he died in less than a second. It was just disintegrated. And then Aoi didn't have much ganking potential, as I mentioned, because he had like 1 level in his Malefice. It's funny because like Malefice gets a lot of slack now after they buffed the Midnight Pulse so much. Like, Midnight Pulse, don't get me wrong, is a fantastic spell, but Malefice is still one of the better stuns in the game. It really is.
Oh, it's so good, dude. And
Zai try to find somebody here.
Yep, trying to hook up with Arteezy. I agree with you, though. I mean, Midnight Pulse is really freaking good, but in terms of just pure utility that you can get out of an Enigma, I mean, Midnight Pulse is great. You know, you can throw it behind enemy towers. If you're trying to slow push, you can throw it down in a team fight, and if that fight drags on at all, the amount of damage you output is quite huge. But I agree with you, like, especially against a lineup like EG, who was susceptible, not is anymore, was susceptible to some early ganks and rotations, and you're just missing out on opportunities. And now here comes the push at bottom, naked racks, as the tier 3 was cleared out not long ago. There's the weave and wards plus ulti, no glyph, and these racks, honestly, it doesn't matter if they ran at them right now, the racks would still die. Yeah, right. down in a heartbeat. And now they're going to rotate to mid and maybe try to do some damage here.
And they should try to time this if EG stays to where they can fight when the DP ulti is down. It's going to be down in about 10 seconds or so. And yeah, they want to run it. This is like their last hurrah. They need to fight them now or never. And they need to kill them all.
Let's see what they got. Universe. Up, here we go. Trying to come in. There's the Stampede used as they try to exit. AUI, his blink put on cooldown, unable to pursue out. Zai does have a rocket chasing him down. PPD bringing up the rear. And they're going to hang around. There's the hook. Finally, Bone 7 gets a good one. PPD cleaned up because of it. BKB popped on the Enigma. Force staff on Zai gets him out. The rest are blinking away. Zai pursued into the woods. He has blink in 1 second. He got it.
Are you kidding me?
Back behind his tier 2. Using those items and making them pay for themselves as he scurries to safety, even though a rocket was pursuing him. So C9 loses a Rax. They try to chase out. Unfortunately, only catching one, and in that case, just PPD.
He got force staffed by Fear and then force staffed himself away, giving him enough time for the blink to cool down. Very nicely played there. And then at the end, he was scared of, because that rocket damage does a lot once it's in the air for a long time, and uses the pipe to save him. So well played by Fear.
Well, at 18-11 and 33 minutes in, the goal graph, haven't even looked at it at all this game. There's been sufficient amounts of action and things to talk about. 20,000 gold, EG's lead at this stage, and really it's been a steady downward slope. We saw C9 put up a fight from time to time, but at no point in this game did they really feel like they were going to be able to get their legs under them. And so far, it looks like the time for them to try to make a comeback may have already come and gone. As, you know, just like again at the Gyro. BKB, Demon Edge, 2,000 gold. Like, this just isn't acceptable in the face of Universe, for example, who now has a Mjolnir, an Orchid, a BKB, and a blink of his own.
Yeah, and I don't think that he's played it badly at all. I think the hero just doesn't really offer this much at this stage of the game, and there's only so much you can do with the rocket build in mid. Like again, I don't know what the plan is to gank somebody. Like, if the plan is not to gank somebody, then why go rocket? I'd much rather see him just get flat cannon, and he could even just flat cannon, kind of play almost like a DP, where you just, every flat cannon cooldown, you just run up and start spamming out the wave. It's not as effective as DP, but it's better than just throwing missiles at him and hoping that someone can run him down. That certainly didn't work out.
Roche gonna drop in a hurry. And the Aegis this time will be picked up by Arteezy. That's Cheese on the ground as well. And looks like Zai will be carrying that, at least for the moment. The Assault Cuirass almost done. No, is done. Check that. Finished just moments ago, seconds ago, by Fear. So the entire team tanking up even more. And then you've got Weave to go on top of it. You know, and Envy on this Razor has not played badly. His farm has been right on par with where he needed to be. He's gone 4-0-3. I mean, you can't really ask a whole lot more of him given how much pressure they've been under from the moment the bell rang.
Yeah.
But it's not enough. And he's certainly not going to have the damage output he needs against the team that is going to feel this immortal.
Yeah, no, he's actually played a very, very nice game this game. And his decision-making of when to go in and when to use his BKB and Link and all that jazz, it's been spot on. So, yeah, like you mentioned, it's hard given the circumstances. He's got 3,900 gold. It's really hard to even distinguish what you buy. Other than Envy, almost the entire team is less net worth than most of EG. I mean, look at them, the Furion and the DP, and now the Centaur now are the top 3.
Yep. And even Shadow Shaman is on par with the Enigma. Put that in perspective. I mean, Enigma is one of the greediest, fastest farming heroes, especially in the early game, let alone throughout the rest of the game. You know, obviously, as an Enigma, you siege your jungle at some point to your 1 and 2 positions usually. But regardless of that, he was off to a slow start, as you had mentioned. He didn't spend a lot of time just farming. His item progression, little slow. And now, with the Rasta, who basically is your true 5, 4, 3, and 7, caught back up to him. He has Scepter done as well, by the way, so these wards...
Oh, God. Envy has no TP for 10 seconds.
Oh, wow.
So these racks are going to take a beating. They do have a glyph, but he needs to TP as soon... Yeah, there he goes.
And Glyph not even used.
Too late, though.
Yep, Arteezy's probably not even going. I mean, he's got the Aegis. Arteezy may just hang here and wait for the Aegis to be used before he uses his ultimate. Behind that, we're going to hear Envy, who just got back. Eating a lot of damage. Bone 7 comes in. There's a Mystic Flare. BKB. Black Hole as well. Zai hit with the Shallow Grave. Bone 7's going to drop behind that. AUI hitting his best Black Hole of the game, but it doesn't matter. That survivability we were talking about, just too much for them to handle. As Fata will end up dropping as well. Buyback from Eternal Envy as they're trying to reset and re-engage. This Tier 3, their last hope to extend this game. We see Arteezy did use his ulti. Envy once again hexed. And GG cold. as he falls right outside the base. 37 minutes, 22-12. The final kill score as EG takes game 1 in their first round bid to head to the grand finals and earn a slice of that $15,000 prize pool here at the Game24 Invitational, brought to you by NVIDIA. And taking a look at the box scores, man. 4 bracers, treads, blade mail, 0, 10, and 8. Not going to lay it all on Bone 7. He had some good hooks. He missed some bad ones as well. But it's just, no matter what the reason, a performance like that out of a Clockwork usually not going to be enough to get you any leg up against the team as greedy and as tough to deal with in this time frame, in the 20 to 40 minute time frame, as what EG drafted.
Yeah, sometimes you don't have a good game. It happens all the time. It's just one of the things about Dota. If anything, I would say like Fata being 3-5-2, having 5 kill involvement in the game is almost worse. Like I just don't think that the gyro pick did anything. At least Bone 7 was trying to go for kills and maybe failed some hooks, but had a little bit of space here and then. But I'm not a fan of this gyro pick. At least played in this manner. I don't think it was very effective. But also some bigger things too is that Universe just had a field day bottom. Like starting off with the first blood, he got, like I said, having that hero have first blood is insane because giving him that kind of surgence of gold makes his ganking power that much stronger. And we saw him ganking right away in the mid lane onto Fata, and then was able to move around the map, and then move back towards bottom to gank and then push that tower. He was all over the map. And not to mention, they also had Roshan at their disposal anytime they wanted. So nice strat from EG and even better execution.
Thanks so much for being a part of the broadcast, guys. Again, this is the Game24 Invitational. I'm your host, Aaron AC Chambers. Voice on the other line, dropping the knowledge. His name is Trouf. You can check us both out on Twitter. I'm at AC, at AYESEE. He's at Trouf Dota, TRALFDOTA. This best of 5 keeps rolling on. EG leads the series 1-0. C9 going to do their best to keep from falling into an 0-2 hole. EG obviously wants to shoot for the goose egg, wants to see if they can keep this momentum rolling. Again, this is the Game24 Dota stream. Make sure you check out the rest of Game24, a 24-hour celebration powered by NVIDIA, celebrating all that is PC gaming. A little bit of downtime coming up right now, but we'll see you back in just a few minutes. Stick with us.